In East Iceland, there are places you do not reach by accident. You leave the main road, cross a mountain pass, and keep driving into a fjord where the road slowly comes to an end. This is Bakkagerði, a small village in Borgarfjörður, Eystri, a place of puffins, old stories, strong energy, turf houses, and coastal paths leading to forgotten places by the sea. The road to Bakkagerði is part of the experience. From Egilsstaðir, Route 94 climbs over a mountain pass before descending into the fjord. In good weather, it is a beautiful drive. In bad weather, it quickly reminds you that East Iceland is not a place where you can rely only on a map and a plan. This is one of those corners of Iceland where the journey itself explains why the landscape has always shaped life here more than people have shaped the landscape. Bakkagerði is the main village in Borgarfjörður, Eystri. Today it feels like a quiet settlement on the edge of the map, but the development of the village is closely connected with trade. Borgarfjörður, Eystri received trading rights at the end of the 19th century, and around that time the settlement began to grow where Bakkagerði stands today. The first houses were small turf buildings, much simpler than the homes now scattered around the bay. Above the village stands Álfaborg, the Elf Rock, or the City of Elves. According to local tradition, Borgarfjörður, Eystri is one of the places strongly connected with elves and hidden people. Álfaborg itself is often associated with the Queen of the Elves. For me personally, this is not just a tourist curiosity. The place has a special calmness and energy that you can feel when you walk around it. Whether you believe in elves, hidden people, or simply in the power of the landscape, Álfaborg is a place where these stories make sense. Here, rocks, hills, and mountains are not just a background. They have names, stories, and meaning. One of the most photographed places in the village is Lindarbakki, a small red house with a turf roof. Houses like this were once part of the everyday image of Icelandic villages. People built with what the landscape provided: turf, stone, wood, and later concrete. Today, Lindarbakki is less of a grand museum and more of a quiet reminder of an older way of life. On the edge of the village stands Bakkagerðiskirkja, a church consecrated in 1901. Inside is an altarpiece by Jóhannes Sveinsson Kjarval, one of Iceland's most important painters, who grew up here in Borgarfjörður, Eystri. The painting from 1914 shows Christ giving the sermon on the mount. But the mountain is the local Álfaborg, with the Dyrfjöll Mountains in the background. From Bakkagerði, you can also head along the coast towards Stapavík. Today, it is a beautiful walk, run, or short adventure between the sea, cliffs, and open landscape. But Stapavík was not always just a scenic point on a map. Between 1930 and 1945, it served as a landing and unloading place for ships. At a time when road connections were not something people could take for granted, the sea was essential for remote parts of Iceland. Goods were brought ashore here using a hand-operated winch, and the remains of that equipment can still be seen in Stapavík today. A reminder of a practical and demanding history. When you run along this coast today, it is easy to see only the beauty of the landscape. But this place also shows that for the people who lived here, the coast was not just scenery. It was a route, a workplace, and a connection to the outside world. The best-known attraction in Bakkagerði is the puffin colony. On the small islet of Hafnarhólmi, right by the harbor, thousands of pairs of these seabirds nest every summer. The area is well prepared for visitors. Wooden walkways and viewing platforms allow people to get close without damaging the burrows or walking on dangerous cliffs. Puffins are usually here from mid-April to mid-August. And although they can look almost comical, they spend most of their lives at sea. They return to land mainly to nest. When the activity around the harbor fades, Bakkagerði once again feels like a place at the end of the road. A small village, a few houses, mountains around the fjord, and Álfaborg rising above them as a reminder of old stories. Bakkagerði is not a big place, and that is exactly where its strength lies. In a very small area, nature, folklore, history, hiking trails, and everyday life come together, far away from Iceland's main roads.